Morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Namaste Experience. I am here in Portland, Oregon. I'm looking outside and I actually see sun, which is wonderful. I think this may be almost the first time since I got here. So I'm very happy about that, and I'm always very happy to join with our mighty companions at Namaste Village and around the world. So welcome. It's wonderful to be here. Let's dive right in. Why don't we go ahead and we'll start with our opening prayer that we have been using. I don't have that. It's on my other computer. Never mind. We'll just dive right into the lesson that we're going to be sharing today, something that I wrote yesterday. Let me bring that up onto the screen and we'll get right into it. Here we go. So the question, why not now, is an important one. Why not now? Why not really embrace this now? Why not really dive into this infinite ocean of grace right now? Why would we wait if we know that this is the only true reality, the only thing that's ever going to make us truly happy, the only thing that's ever going to fill that void that seems to need to be filled, which can only be filled with love itself? So why not now? Here we go. You look at the world, and what do you see? By the way, I wanted to say before I get too far into this that this is really just all about looking at the world that you've created, the world that we share, and being honest about it. Being honest about what this is, and yet feeling a reality beneath or maybe above it all that is the true or the real world. So let's be honest about what we see. With that first question, you look at the world and what do you see? Is there anything consistent here? Can you find anything that remains the same forever? The world you perceive is the opposite of eternal and changeless. And the mind you use to see this unstable world sees changelessness as undesirable, even boring. Can you relate to this? How many of you have ever had the thought that, gosh, peace, all the time? Doesn't that sound boring? Well, the ego's idea of peace all the time may seem boring, but the reality of unchangeable, undeniable peace and love and harmony is anything but boring, which we'll hear in a second. We continue by reading. All I can tell you is that the truth within you can never change. It never ends, and the experience of this truth is anything but boring. Anyone who has engaged in this experience knows the truth of that statement. It is anything but boring. It is anything but simple. It is dynamic. This peace, this experience is beyond anything else that you could ever experience in this world, and is so exciting. So you can embrace that. Once again, it never changes, it never ends, and the experience of this truth is anything but boring. It is up to you to look upon this or choose the illusions that seem to oppose reality. You may choose to look upon the body that grows old and say, this is real, this is who I am. But that does not make it so. Or you may choose to look upon the natural world and say, this is the way of things, to die and decay. But once again, this does not make it so. There is an experience of self with a capital S, an experience of self that exists beyond the reach of all of this. You are this self, and this self alone knows love. The truth of you alone knows love. This self alone is perfectly consistent in its thoughts, knows its creator, understands itself, is perfect in its knowledge and its love, and never changes from its constant state of union with its creator and itself. This is who you are in reality, and it is who you will always be. Let me read this last part one more time. Let's see if you can really, really allow this to penetrate all of the armor and all of the blocks that we've established to keep us from the experience of this simple love. There is an experience of self that exists beyond the reach of all of this. You are this self, and this self alone knows love. This self, the truth of who you are, alone knows love. This self alone is perfectly consistent in its thoughts, knows its creator, understands itself, is perfect in its knowledge and its love, and never changes from its constant state of union with its creator and itself. This is who you are in reality, and it is who you will always be. That just feels so good, doesn't it? So the choice that you believe you have is really no choice at all, the choice between illusions and reality. You will inevitably choose love because it's what you are in truth. And you cannot claim what you are in illusions forever. You cannot claim what you seem to be in illusions forever. So why not now? Why not choose love now? Why not choose the experience of ever living, everlasting love? Because it is yours. It's who you are. Literally, it's the essence of who you are. So why continue choosing who you are not? When you realize who you truly are, why would you choose to experience something that could never possibly be real? You are the holy, perfect child of God, complete and healed and whole. You are shining in the reflection of God's love. Shining in the reflection of God's love. Why not experience that right now? It's a very simple, but a very direct lesson. But we have to choose it. We have to allow that experience to enter. And in truth, that experience is as close as a thought, as close as a desire, as you choosing only love, choosing only who you are in truth. So that's our lesson. Now we just have to make that choice. And once again, why not now? So, as I said before, Vicky is not here right now. So I'm going to look out and I'm just going to see who is shining and who might want to share. You know, one of the people I love to turn, I'm going to first turn to Sharon and then I'm going to turn to Daphne. Daphne's probably very surprised that I'm calling on her. Sharon, we love to hear from you. So what does this spark within you when you hear this lesson?
Good morning. Yes, 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 yes. Why not right now? Exactly. You know, we as creators cannot help ourselves but create. And it's either the split mind, right, is saying, okay, I'm going to make this world, or we can choose this teaching, which is so, it feels obscure, but it is so right here. We know it. We know the truth. Yet there's the challenge right there that we battle this. The ego feels like it's giving up something, and in order to have everything, which is pure creation, like how unboring is that? It's James, it's like, you've played music where you're just so immersed in the creation of a song or just a melody, and it's anything but boring. It's what we are when we're in a painting, or we're gardening, or we're cooking, or we're dancing. We're creating, we're doing what is natural out of love. And then there creeps in that tiny mad idea of, like, when we're still, say for instance, like we say, gee, I'm bored. That's a temptation. And why would we ever be bored? Why not now? I say that to my group on Wednesday mornings. Why not now? So I say yes to that, and that's what we're practicing every time we come here. Thank you so much for
Mm.
letting me speak today. And hi, everybody. I love you all. I can feel your presence. I hear your voice during the day too. I don't just hear Jesus's word, James. I hear your voice. I hear my mighty companion's voice. I think about it. So your thoughts don't go unfelt all the time. Thank you so much. It's so powerful. That's all I
Mm.
have to say.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, as always, Sharon. And you said something that was really interesting that I've said many times before. The ego, or the split mind, believes that we have to lose something in order to gain everything, that there's a loss involved in receiving literally everything. But even our logical mind, if you look at that directly, realizes that that thought is insane, as is every thought of the split mind. You don't lose anything when you accept everything. When you accept everything, you receive everything. There's no loss. But this is what hooks us. This is what keeps the ego in place, the idea of loss. And when we accept that it's just an idea, that it's not real, but when we choose only love, only that which created us, only the true experience of our own reality, we realize there is nothing to lose, because anything that seems to have been lost was never real in the first place. We're choosing reality, and when we choose only that, what we thought was real, which never served us or gave us what we really wanted in the first place, dissolves on its own. Let it dissolve. Let it pass. If it's passing, then it's not real. That which is real is always yours, as you said so beautifully. So thank you, Sharon. That was awesome as always. Yes. Now, Daphne, you're probably surprised that I'm calling on you, because you and I have known each other for a long time, and you always have great questions, but I want you also to trust the wisdom that is always flowing from you. So, what does this spark in you? What is there any little nugget in there that you feel like you can take and you can live today? Oh, make sure you unmute, darling.
Okay,
There we
I
go.
took a screenshot of your reading today, of the thing you wrote, and I'm not sure if I can get back to it without losing you all. But there was something, the first word, the capital truth. Here it is. Let me just see if I can see it for myself. Oh, no, my transfer is confirmed. Okay. Oh, here it is. I'm sorry, I didn't do this because I was listening to Sharon, who you choose so many
I can bring it
wonderful,
back up on
wonderful
my
speakers.
screen if it's easier.
Okay, you know what? Why? Yes, why not now? Why not do that now? That would be better, because then it will people can see what it is that
All right, let me
I'm
bring this up on the
looking at.
screen.
Oh,
Okay, there it is. Can you see that, Daphne?
okay. Yes, I can. Okay. In the second paragraph, what I see is, all I can tell you that the truth within you can never change, never ends, and the experience of this truth is anything but boring. And so I, as I so often do, substituted the word love for truth. So, I think you say this in many different ways. That's what we are, is love. And so truth is, that feels pretty philosophical for me. And when I was speaking to this wonderful family yesterday, I was saying, I'm not a philosopher. I need it all on a pretty basic level. And I think you've known that with my questions before, James. But when I think of truth as being love, oh, you are so right. There's nothing boring about that. That's fun. It just feels so good to be able to love everything, to walk along and see the little wildflowers that are coming out and to love them. And I actually get down and pat the moss on the ground because I love it so much. I've always loved moss. And it's so not boring. I mean, it's so fun. And when I look at it as that's us being in communion with our Creator, I can do that. And another thing I think sometimes is, for instance, in the Course where it says, I don't know what anything is for, those comforting things, these comforting thoughts to me, I just think, whether they're true or not, I just like living that way. So that's how I guess maybe my ego and I have some sort of agreement about this. Let's just do this, because even if it's not true, it doesn't matter. It's a nice way to. It's a fun and much more. It's just a much more fun way to be in the world. So. The one other thing I want to say, James, I don't know that I've said this here in the group. I know I've said it to you when we were at Namaste. You know how much I love your dog, Gracie. I mean, she's the dog of my heart also. And I was sitting there one day when you were saying, we're just a step away from being out, into the world we really want. And why don't you really want this world? And I looked and said, but James, I'm in the world I want, with this gorgeous garden, and I'm here with your dog, Gracie, who I love so much. And you said, there's my girl. Hi, sweetie. Oh, I think about her all the time. Mwah. Thank you, James.
Lucy.
My love. And you said, one of the things that I think that's most meaningful of all the many things I've gotten from you, you said you don't give up anything you love. And that was such a light bulb moment for me. Oh, I can be here in this and just do love. And, it's what I aim for every day. So bless you. I love this group, James, and I love this meeting that we have every day. It sets just such a tone to help me stay in love all day. So bless you all and thank you.
That's why I love when you share, Daphne, because you bring it down to this simple childlike level, whereas it may seem philosophical sometimes, it's important for us just to bring it down to love. This is just about loving one another. And regardless of the truth or the reality or unreality, isn't this just a wonderful way to live? By loving one another and giving ourselves to one another in service and choosing to release fear. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do this when you realize the joy and the life that it brings? So thanks for reminding us of that, Daphne, as always. So why not now? Why not choose this love, this reality in this moment? And it's as simple as giving it away. It's as simple as being willing to share it, to be the source of that which we seek. So today, in this moment, let's choose that. Let's choose in some small way to be that source, to be the love that we believe we lack at some points in our lives or need. Be the source of that, and you'll realize that it has always been yours. So I think we should just keep it right there at that. Or actually, if you have any questions, we have been opening things up for questions. If anyone does have a question before we go ahead and hit your reaction button, raise your hand so I can see you. This is a time not for us to make comments, but for just us to see if there's anything that needs to be clarified. So it will be something that we can go out and live, a reality we can share. So I don't see anyone's hands going up, so it must be clear. Just go out and love one another. Go out and be that reality now. It's the only thing that's important. I do see Bob Panzer with his hand up. So, Bob, go ahead.
Thank you. About a month ago, you were presenting the idea of not speaking our judgments and that our judgments are projections of ourselves. And I started practicing that. And that left open what we're talking about today is that there's the truth of us. And it paved the way for me to look at myself differently. And so I withheld those judgments that I've carried with me all my life. And yesterday, my wife said, I don't know what's happened to you, but you're being nice to me. So something's going on with me because of what I've been watching here for the last month or so. Thank you.
Oh, wow. That's great news. The experience that every judgment is ultimately self-judgment. We're only really judging ourselves. We're projecting that which we don't want to see in ourselves. So why not project only love? Why not give that away in every moment? It's so simple. And if your spouse has seen it, it must be true. All right, dear beloveds, we love you so much. Thank you so much for being here and just being willing. Thank you for being willing to engage in this bright, bright experience. Just keep coming back because it is a great way to start our day. And we're going to go ahead and we'll end as we have been almost every day with our prayer of protection. So here we go. Join me if you want. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And you are all so well and so lovable. We love you. Have an amazing day, everybody. We'll see you. Well, today's Friday, so we have our Sunday service, and I'll be back next week. Namaste.
Happy
Namaste.
Friday.
Buen
Namaste.
punto.
Thank you, James.
Love you all.